How's it going, everybody? I hope you've had a great Christmas. Welcome back to the channel, and I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've actually posted anything at all on the channel. To be honest with you, I've just been a bit lazy. I've just finished work, so it's nice to have a couple of weeks off from work now. Yesterday actually, I wanted to film a step-by-step car valeting, or not valeting, but like how I wash my car. It's like a big stage wash. I'm no professional detailer, but I do spend a good few hours or a lot of the day just washing the car, and I wanted to record that and post it. However, the weather's been absolutely crap. It's raining like really bad here in Cornwall, and it's not ideal to film in those conditions or wash your car in those conditions. So today I thought I'd do a bit of a different video. I did it on my previous car, my Mark II Focus ST, and that is going to be 5 things I hate or dislike about this car. So number 1, the one thing that annoys me most about this car is going to have to be the brakes. Not that they're bad at stopping, they're actually really, really good. These discs and pads are pretty fresh as well. I know the previous owner put new discs and pads on before I bought the car. It's actually when you pull away, and I think it's actually quite a common issue with the 3 Series. It might be more than just the 3 Series, but I know it's a common issue with a lot of BMW cars. Basically, once the handbrake's been engaged for quite a while, for example, more so on a hill, where your brakes are taking more strain to keep you in a position, after pulling away for the first time, you notice that there's a really, really loud squeak, and I'll play a clip for you now. So yeah, as you pull away, it's squeaking like mad, and it will continue squeaking for about probably 2 to 3 minutes, unless you slam the brakes on hard, or if you reverse literally a couple of feet and then move forward again. And I'll show you a clip now. As you can see, it's absolutely windy as hell. My camera got knocked over just before that, and I've actually snapped my tripod, so that's pretty good. But yeah, as you can see, as I pull away, it squeaks like mad, and then as you reverse, it stops again. And I'm pretty sure it's something to do, it's either my anti-squeal shims or plates, whatever they're called, or I just need to sort something out. I'm not too sure. I'll get that sorted out soon. But it's so annoying. In the morning, I wake up for work, get in the car, my neighbours must absolutely hate me. My old car was loud, but this car just wakes you up with its brakes. It's a pain in the ass. Right, so hate number 2 on my BMW 3 Series has to be the function that gives you your seatbelt. So as much as it's pretty cool, this car being a 2-door coupe, the seatbelt sits quite far back, so you've actually got to turn quite a long way to grab the seatbelt. So BMW added a little gimmicky function that has a little arm that comes out of the centre pillar here, and it gives you your seatbelt so you don't have to twist back as far. As much as that's pretty cool, after quite a while in use of the car, the arm actually it softens the seatbelt material and causes it to have a bit of concave in it, if you like, and it rounds it slightly. So that arm that's meant to push the seatbelt doesn't have enough force because the rigidity of the seatbelt itself has gone. And I'll demonstrate that for you now. Right, so basically, you see this little silver collar here? Well, that basically is the arm that comes out and pushes your seatbelt towards you. But as you can see, the seatbelt itself is actually slightly rounded. I mean, the car's not done very many miles, but it's done 72,000. So if you can imagine, every time the driver gets into the car, this function is being used, which pushes the seatbelt, causing it to curve. I'll try and demonstrate it to you now. It should push it towards me. And as you can see, it's completely slipped off because of how round the seatbelt is. I did a little bit of research, and it's as simple as actually ironing your seatbelt. If you get some ironing starch and douse your actual seatbelt, iron over it, it causes it to become more rigid again, so the arm has enough pressure for it to stay on. A lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's a bit of a petty kind of hate to have your car, but I feel like if it's a function that's meant to be used every day, which it should be used every day, you'd expect it to work properly. So it's kind of a bit annoying in that sense. If it's there, at least have it working, eh? Right, moving on to hate number 3. This one I haven't experienced yet, but it's something I will really hate if it happens, and it's apparently a really common issue, especially with the N47 engine, which I have in this 320D. I'm not 100% clued up on it, but I think this is correct. Please correct me in the comments if you know more than me, which you probably will. Basically, BMW being BMW thought they were really smart by inventing something called Swirl Flaps. I don't know if they invented it, but they added this feature called Swirl Flaps, which I believe sits somewhere along inside your inlet manifold. And these flaps control your fuel to air ratio mix. And BMW decided that swirled air was more efficient and more beneficial for your car rather than ordinary air that just flows in normally. Basically, these flaps, I believe they're closed when driving at slow speeds, but as soon as you put your foot down and open it up a bit more, these swirl flaps open, causing this swirled air to come in, I'm pretty sure. But basically, after years of people having these on their cars, they've discovered that not only do the flaps build up of carbon and soot, but they corrode slightly. And eventually, those all the soot and carbon built up on the flaps can enter your engine. I believe the flaps can also, it's quite funny to say, the flaps will also remain open and get stuck open. So a lot of people decided to get these blanking plates, which I'm definitely considering soon to put on your car, or you can buy a whole new manifold with brand new flaps, which is like a really expensive way of doing it. But yeah, essentially BMW thought this was like a really good little thing to have, but have caused a lot of issues, and it's a very, very expensive fix, as carbon and soot can then enter your combustion chambers and score your pistons and rings, I'm pretty sure, which is obviously leads to engine failure. So it's something worth getting rid of while you can. And all the forums, everyone suggests please get rid of your swirl flap straight away. So it's a must. Okay, hate number 4. I'm gonna start off by saying BMW come with, I think on most cars, this car did anyway, a 10-year anti-corrosion guarantee, where BMW, again being BMW, will use all the premium metals, paints and protective additives, you could say, for their cars to make them as least likely to rust as possible. And I can safely say there is no rust on this car whatsoever except from one place. And this is another common issue. I don't know if it's just the 3 Series or all BMWs that have this specific trim. Again, I'll pull over in a second and show you. And that is on the door window trims, which I'll show you in a sec. And those are designed to, when it rains on the car, they're like a little valley, and it causes the rain to follow that strip down. And that is the only place on the car where you find rust, and I'll show you in a second. It's bubbling up in a couple of places. I've got a mate who also had a 330D, and his was rusted on the exact same place too. And the most annoying thing about all of it is I contacted my local BMW dealer, and they said the only part of the car they don't cover with the anti-corrosion guarantee is that window trim, which I think is the most stupid thing ever. If they've got this guarantee where they say they'll replace anything that's rusted within 10 years of the car leaving the factory, you'd expect them to cover it. But I suppose for whatever reason they must have missed that part out and realised it's had so many issues, and I can only imagine so many people complained about it, they said we can't do it all. So that's my only reason why I think they don't cover that part of the car. Right, so this trim I'm talking about is this black trim here. I suppose maybe it's just a coupe thing, because obviously there's no top surround on top of the glass here. So as you can imagine, when it shuts, the window goes up. So when it rains, it doesn't come into inside the car. It follows this valley down. But the rust I'm on about is, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, yeah you can, it's bubbling up there in the corner, and also at the top here. I think this side is okay, apart from the tiniest amount at the bottom there. I've had to come back inside because it's so windy. Hopefully you can hear me. But yeah, I think the reason I hate it so much is, again, it's a common issue with BMWs, that trim rusts for whatever reason. I don't know why it didn't get the same protection or as the rest of the bodywork. Maybe it's made of a slightly different metal which reacts easier with water, but maybe it's made of a slightly different metal which reacts differently and causes it to corrode faster. But I don't know why they can't cover that little trim. It can be replaced, but apparently it's an absolute pain in the ass. I think it's glued down, but for what it's worth, I can't be bothered. Luckily it's not actually burst through yet, you don't have the brown, but at some point I might have to somehow treat it, crack down that paint and protect it properly. Right, so my final hate, to be honest, I did kind of struggle to think of 5 things I hate about my car specifically. So the only final thing I could really think of, is not something that I hate, but it is quite irritating, is the general wear of certain surfaces, including the seats. And for anyone who owns a BMW will know that the most common place to wear on your car is your bolsters that support you, obviously. I'll get a close up to you in a second. Mine aren't too bad yet, but when I was looking to buy these cars, I noticed that some of the bolsters, obviously mainly on the driver's side because they're going to get in and out more than the passenger will, have quite literally split. Not just worn down like mine have, but actually split open. You can always get them reupholstered and sewn up properly, but it's just a bit of a hassle, and it will never look the same unless you go to a proper specialist, but it can be a lot of money. And it's something you see more than not when you're browsing for these cars. I suppose if you're watching this video, it's probably likely that you're looking to buy one and you're trying to think of people's opinions on what they might not like about the car to give you an idea of what you're going to find. So if you are looking to buy a car, just take a look at the seats, because it's nothing you don't want to have to do straight away if you're buying a car, because it is going to cost you a bit of money and it's only going to get worse. You can't really save it. So I suppose to prevent that, you can just be careful getting in and out, but you can't always do that. BMWs sit quite low, and they do hug you quite tight, especially if you've got these airbags inflated tight. If you've got one, you know what I'm talking about. Not only that, I'm okay, I'm quite safe at the minute, apart from my start-stop button surround is getting quite worn. Some of the materials, or some sort of like finish they use over the top of your stereo and around your buttons, it's that material where it's like a satin matte finish where you scratch it and you know those scratches will never go again. You always see them, you can never get those scratches out. I'll quickly show you. If I start by showing you the bolsters that I was saying, as you can see, mine aren't too bad. But when I was browsing for these, it's literally all the way from up here right to the bottom, completely split and torn open. You can see whether they've tried to sew it themselves on some cases, which were really bad. But definitely something that's quite annoying about the cars. They're quite proud as well, so it's always quite likely to catch yourself on them. Then interior wise, what I was saying is the finish that they use on the steering wheel, around your stereo, and in my case where it started to wear is the start-stop button. As you can see some plastic shining through, which is obviously where it's had a lot of wear from people's fingers just rubbing it and taking away that black finish. And it's the same material that's on your stereo, and in some cases I've seen in forums where people's stereos are all scratched up in these where people have clearly just caught keys on them, fingernails, and it kind of ruins it all. You can see the volume button there. I'm not sure if it's going to focus. It started to wear a lot, and it does just look crap. Again, this material's the same. This car, again, hasn't had as many miles as most, so it's not too bad yet, but it's something that will happen in its life most likely. So yeah, I hope you find that kind of interesting. My hates might be completely different to yours, and I'm sure you've probably got, bloody hell, you're going to be quick, mate. And I'm pretty sure that you've experienced different hates than what I've experienced. I know I keep saying my car isn't on that many miles compared to most, but obviously you typically find more issues as for the longer you own the car. Obviously, the more use it gets, the more issues you come across. So guys, I hope you found this interesting. Let me know if you agree with these or not. Let me know if you've had any bad issues that I should know about for the future of my ownership of this car. I don't intend to own it for much longer. Still trying to save up for my weekend car, which will be pretty good. If you're looking to buy a new car, specifically a 3 Series or any other BMW really, take these into account, because it's worth noting you don't want to be spending money you didn't expect to when you first buy your car. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's video, guys. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you shortly. Enjoy your Christmas holiday. Peace.